Crisis, challenges, frustration, and failures, they all happen in organizations. So what role do scapegoats have in organizations, and how do they affect team performance? Last month, while I was in Slovakia, I spoke with a historian about the vast massacre of Jews during the Black Plague. Super random. Why would they do that? Aren't there enough people dying from, the Black Plague? But in this case, and generally with all epidemics, we look for a scapegoat, someone to blame in an unfortunate event. In this particular time of extreme death during the Black Plague, the Jewish population was largely spared in comparison with other groups. A few reasons, including the fact that they had differences in lifestyles compared to the majority of the population, in very clean living in accordance to Jewish law. Also, the grain was widely removed from their houses for Passover, discouraging the rats to spread the disease, and the plague peaked in the spring, around Passover. Because they were spared, they obviously were to blame. So between 1348 and 1351, that's right, only 3 years, more than 200 Jewish communities were wiped out. As I spoke to the historian in Slovakia, she showed me a mass grave memorial where the Jews were slaughtered. This story of an unfortunate scapegoat is actually a pattern, and not really the exception. Zika, swine, bird, they all had scapegoats. Sometimes people groups are to blame, other times natural phenomena like El Nino, and other times the animal's namesake itself is blamed and takes a hit. Mass pig slaughters in Egypt was the result of panic in regards to swine flu. And all of these ideas about scapegoats in times of turbulence make me think about scapegoats in organizations and how they affect our performance as a team. We create scapegoats for a few different reasons, good or bad. We create scapegoats to build cohesion. Basically, we all have a common enemy and a source of unity against something else. In a time when everything seems to be falling apart, many unite under a common enemy. We also create a scapegoat to default blame. This could be to deflect personal blame and responsibility, and it could also be to have a single, simple scapegoat. For example, I was working with a corporate team overseas, and we got a dartboard in the office. The CEO went away for a couple of weeks, and whenever he came back, he found the dartboard and the wall destroyed from the darts. When he asked, "Oh my gosh, who did this?" everyone looked and they said it was Amber. She's terrible at darts. Now, I'll admit, I am pretty horrible at darts. But let's be honest, I was certainly not the only one who had put all of the holes in the wall. But rather than blaming everyone and making a more complicated answer, I was the scapegoat in this instance. The third reason why we have scapegoats is to explain what we don't know. You might not actually know why the sky is blue, but you might tell your daughter that it's to match her eyes. Why? Because that's a reason of some sort. Her eyes clearly aren't the answer, but they are the scapegoat of your explanation. So whether it's building cohesion, giving a simple single blame, or giving an explanation, we have our reasons for using scapegoats within our teams. So the reasons don't sound all that terrible. What is the harm that can come from these scapegoats? Most of the time, dare I say almost all of the time, scapegoats are inaccurate. Whether only partly true or massively false, scapegoats can act as blinders to our reality, which prevents us from making the changes that we need to find a solution. We might even take action with a scapegoat, but it may just result in killing 1,000 pigs and not finding a vaccine or a public health initiative. Scapegoats bring us no closer to a solution. Sure, you can blame the country, you can blame the leaders, the market, the organization, the person, the world we live in. But the reality is that if we all come together, then we're already one step closer to finding a solution. So rather than uniting against a scapegoat, why not unite around a solution? Oftentimes, teams don't really realize that they're creating scapegoats, while there are a few other times that it's totally done intentionally. But if we are aware of the triggers of why we create scapegoats and are conscious of the damage they can have on our team performance, then we can be proactive against scapegoating. Rather than blame or find a scapegoat as a reason or an excuse for the situation or the performance, here's what I want you to do instead. Acknowledge the situation and face it head on. When a challenge arises, when crises come, when factors outside and inside of your realm of control happen, come together with a mind of problem solving rather than one of blame. Look at the facts, accept responsibility, collaborate, come up with a plan, and this will help lead you to a better, higher performing team.